The conference room smelled like lemon oil and old paper. I sat with my hands folded in my lap, watching a droplet of condensation slide down my water glass. Across the table, Alina tapped her heel against the base of her chair, a slow rhythm. Disguised as patience, David Hirsch cleared his throat. Thank you both for being here. I know this isn't easy. Alina gave a soft, curated smile. Of course, David. We appreciate you handling this personally. I said nothing. He glanced at me, then looked down at the will. Per Gerald Caldwell's last signed directive, the entirety of the Caldwell estate, real and liquid assets, including the residence in Montauk, all art holdings, and the family trust, shall be passed to Alina Caldwell. Silence. I blinked. Once. Twice, David continued, voice low. There is no contingent clause for the trust. The will was updated 7 months ago, notarized and sealed. I turned my head toward Alina. Her lips parted just enough for the corners to rise. I didn't know it would be everything. Sure, I said. She shifted. I assumed there'd be a split, obviously. But maybe he thought, you don't have to explain. I want to. She folded her hands. Her rings sparkled. He trusted me to manage it responsibly. Maybe he worried you'd disappear? I offered. David looked like he wanted to leave the room. Alina tilted her head. That's not what I said. No. But it's what he believed. And you never corrected him. I wrote you after his surgery. You sent a group text. Her expression tightened, but she kept her voice soft. We all mourn differently. I didn't mourn, I said. I processed. There's a difference. David cleared his throat again. There's an addendum, you can skip it, I said. Unless he left me a coaster. No, David said quickly. Just details about the trust management. It's standard. Lovely. Alina shifted again. This wasn't my idea, you know. I didn't ask for this. I looked at her. You didn't have to. That's not fair. It's accurate. David spoke quickly. If you'd both prefer to review the documents in private, no need, I said, standing. This isn't surprising. Just clarifying. Alina rose too. We should talk. We're talking now. I mean, alone. Later. This is family, and I am the sole beneficiary. Yes. I heard. She followed me toward the door. Please don't do this. Do what? Shut me out. I turned. Did it feel like I was in the room when you helped him change the will? She flinched. I didn't. He didn't tell me, but you suspected. Her silence was an answer. David remained seated, eyes cast down, pen tapping softly against the folder. Alina stepped closer. We can figure something out. I can set aside. I held up a hand. Don't. Please. Don't insult me with crumbs. It's not crumbs. It's an afterthought. Her jaw clenched. You always twist everything. And you always smooth everything over. We're consistent. We stood inches apart. She smelled like bergamot and something expensive. I wondered if she'd worn Father's favorite perfume on purpose. I loved him too, she whispered. Then you should have shared him. Her breath hitched. She didn't reply. I turned and walked out, heels silent on the carpet. Outside. The air felt colder than it should have been for April. I didn't bother pulling my coat tighter. Behind me, the door clicked softly shut. I didn't turn on the radio. I didn't cry. I drove with the window cracked open, wind slicing through my silence like it was punishing me for not reacting. Alina's smile had been timed perfectly. A flicker of pity, a flash of gratitude, and then her arm around my shoulder like we were still 10 and singing into hairbrushes. But I'd seen the tremor in her fingers when the will was read. She'd known exactly what was coming. My phone buzzed. Maya Lynn, you alive? I parked outside my building and typed, technically. Then added, drink. 3 dots appeared, then vanished. I was already changing into something black and sharp when she buzzed the door. Jesus, you look like vengeance in heels, she said, stepping in. Do I need to hide a body? Just sit down. I poured 2 glasses of Cabernet. Maya kicked off her boots and sat cross-legged on my couch. So, she said. How bad? Full sweep. House. Trust. Art. No mention of me. Maya whistled. Damn. Your dad went full Shakespeare. She smiled, Maya. Like it was a pageant. Win. She's always been good at the performance art of grief. I sipped. She gave me that hug. The one she saves for charity galas and Christmas cards. God. Maya leaned back. What are you going to do? Nothing. She raised a brow. You sure? Nothing impulsive, I clarified. She grinned. There she is. I looked at her. Lucas was offered global strategy. Seriously? 2 weeks ago. CFO flagged me during the Tokyo prep. I thought he was going to pass. Alina doesn't want to move. He hasn't accepted yet. Maya's eyes narrowed. And you're thinking what I think you're thinking. I'm thinking the board still hasn't announced it. You want that job. I want the job that was going to be handed to someone because his wife would host beautiful brunches in Geneva. She raised her glass. Now that's the sister I'd bet on. I drank. It's not about payback. Maya tilted her head. You sure? I met her eyes. It's about position. Right. She stood. So how do we position you? 2 days later, Lucas found me in the elevator. Hey, he said, breathless. You heading to 38? 36. Strategy review. I nodded. You settling your transition timeline? He blinked. What? For global. Thought you'd be finalizing by now. He looked genuinely surprised. I haven't decided. I stepped out as the doors opened. You should. He followed. It's complicated. Isn't it always? He hesitated. Can we talk? I paused. Now? My office? I followed him in silence. His corner view was better than mine. For now that he closed the door. Did the CFO tell you? No, I said. I listen. Lucas Saturday, I didn't tell Alina. Because you knew what she'd say. She doesn't want to leave New York. Family. Schools. Social circles. And what do you want? He looked at me. Do you always sound like a therapist? No. Sometimes I sound like a strategist. He laughed, but it faded fast. I wanted the role. 5 years ago. Now. I don't know. You're hesitating. That's your answer. I'm trying to do what's right. For who? He rubbed his face. I shouldn't be talking to you about this. Then why did you? He looked at me. Because you're not pretending. I nodded. That's right. He leaned forward. Are you gunning for it? If you're not stepping up, someone should. He held my gaze. I always thought you were too quiet to climb. You weren't listening. I see that now. I stood. Decide fast. Lucas. The board won't wait forever. As I turned to leave, he asked, would you move? I looked back. Try me. Then I walked out. The numbers steadied me. I ran the Q2 forecast again, just to feel the control. Nothing screamed, nothing unraveled. Unlike families, Maya knocked once and entered without waiting. You need a break. I'm fine. Your spreadsheet gazing. Like it's a religion. I clicked save. I like clarity. She dropped into the chair across from me. Clarity's boring. You're too good to be boring. I looked at her. You heard about Lucas? That he turned it down? Yeah. Said it was a family decision. She air quoted it like a curse. Meaning Alina threw a fit. Meaning. He hesitated long enough to lose leverage. You going to let the board drift back to him? No, she leaned in. Okay. Then what's the plan? I closed the laptop. We give them a reason to reconsider. Presentation? Too obvious. Coffee runs and flattery? I'm not a man in finance. She smirked. Good point. So, what? I want boardroom 6. She blinked. You're going for that slot? They haven't filled it. If I'm running strategy, I need the seat. Maya sat back. You've been quiet about this. I've been precise. You going to tell Lucas? He already knows. Lucas found me by the elevators the next day. You talked to Richard? He asked. I had coffee. He narrowed his eyes. Just coffee? With numbers. They like that. He exhaled. You're serious about this? You're not. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. They made you an offer and you stalled until it expired. It's not that simple. It is. He looked around, then stepped closer. If I tell you something, it stays between us. Depends what it is. He hesitated. Alina threatened to leave. I kept my face neutral. If you took the promotion? He nodded. She said I was choosing ambition over family. She's never objected to ambition before. She objected to the move. She doesn't want to start over. I stared at him. You're not starting over. You're stepping up. I know that. But you let her make it about loyalty. I thought I could fix it. You thought stalling would make the decision go away. His jaw tightened. So you decided for me? No. The board decided they needed someone who shows up. That night, Maya and I worked late. She brought Thai food and red pens. We need data for the Paris portfolio, she said. I'll have it by morning. She pointed her fork at me. Lucas is spiraling. He made his choice. You're cold. I'm focused. She grinned. Same thing, different font. We worked in silence for a while. Then she said, you think Alina knows? Not yet. What happens when she does? She'll smile. Pretend to support him. Then punish him behind the scenes. Maya whistled. And you? What'll you do? I looked at her. Win. Then I turned back to the numbers. She chose a place with white tablecloths and low lighting. Faux intimacy for public performances. I arrived 3 minutes late on purpose. Alina was already seated, wine glass untouched, phone face down like she wanted to prove something. You look lovely, she said. You picked a flattering room. She laughed. Always so dry. I took the chair across from her. The waiter appeared like a summoned ghost. I ordered sparkling water. She asked for Sauvignon Blanc. You've been busy, she said once he left. So have you. I meant with work. Lucas said you're leading the Paris transition. He talks about me? Of course. He respects you. She tilted her head. We both do. I'm flattered. A pause. She sipped her wine. I wanted to talk, she said. About Dad. Which part? Her smile held. Everything. It's strange, isn't it? Grief shows up sideways. You're grieving? Of course. You didn't look like it at the reading. She set her glass down. That was shock. No, that was preparation. You'd rehearsed that smile. I don't know what you mean. You do. Her fingers curled slightly. Look, I didn't ask for what he gave me. You accepted it quickly. I was trying to hold it together, for both of us. Don't pretend that was for me. She inhaled slowly. I know you think I manipulated him. I don't think it. I watched it. I visited. I took care of the estate. You weren't there. I called. Once a month. And that makes me unworthy? No, she said, voice smooth. It made you distant. Detached. Detached from him. Not the inheritance. That's not fair. It's precise. Alina leaned forward. Do you think he loved me more? I think you needed him to. I was the one who stayed. You stayed for the optics. She blinked. I continued. You wore his name like a brand. The grieving daughter. The perfect wife. Her jaw stiffened. And what did you wear? Absence. Freedom. Silence. Then, I'm trying, she said. To fix things. Things aren't broken. They're just exposed. Alina's voice dropped. I didn't want this divide. You cultivated it. He was dying. And you played the daughter of the year. I was there, she hissed, and I wasn't supposed to be, I said quietly. That's what scared you. She looked away. The waiter returned. We didn't speak until he left again. I miss you, she said finally. No, you miss control. Her eyes met mine. You think I'm a villain. I think you're a mirror. Polished. Empty. She stood. I wanted peace. You wanted applause. She dropped her napkin on the table. Enjoy your water. As she walked out, I caught her reflection in the mirror behind her, composed, elegant, untouched, exactly how she wanted to be seen. The storage unit smelled like dust and dried glue. A hired mover leaned a canvas against the metal wall and nodded toward the rest. Last one, he said. I thanked him, signed the form, and waited for the clang of the roll-up door sliding shut. Behind him. Then I crouched and peeled back the protective sheet from the frame. Still life with apricot. 1937, my father used to stare at it for hours, drink in hand, like it knew something he didn't. The backing was loose. I ran my fingers along the edge and felt it. Folded paper tucked behind the canvas. I pulled it free. Appraisal document. Letterhead from Belmont Fine Arts. Private evaluation for F. Caldwell Collection, Lot 6, Lot 9, Lot 11. Dated 6 months before his death. Requested by Alina Caldwell. I sat back on the concrete floor. The pieces listed were missing from the final estate log. Lot 6 was the Brian Geisen, sold. Lot 9 was the Modigliani sketch, gone. Lot 11 was the Czech sculpture he'd hidden in his closet after mother died. She'd sold them while he was in hospice. While I was across the country. While she smiled for sympathy and wrote family updates on his behalf. My phone rang. Her name flashed on the screen. I answered. Yes? I just spoke with the gallery, she said. The remaining pieces are being delivered Friday. Which pieces? Mostly second tier. Nothing major. I kept the ones Dad designated. I stared at the receipt. Did he designate them before or after you had them appraised? Silence. Excuse me, she said. The Brian. The sketch. The resin cast. You had them valued 6 months before he died. That's not. Do you want the invoice number? Her voice went low. Where did you get that? Behind the apricot painting. You missed it. She exhaled. That wasn't meant for you. But the collection was meant for you. All of it. Right? You don't understand. Try. Me. I needed to make decisions. He was fading, confused. He wasn't thinking clearly. So you thought for him. I protected the value of the estate. You mean your inheritance? He wasn't capable anymore. You decided that. He didn't even recognize the Brian by the end. And that gave you permission? Her voice broke. He was my father too. And you used his coma as clearance. She didn't. Speak. I stood and walked to the other side of the unit, looking at what was left, frames, some chipped, others wrapped so tightly they looked suffocated. You always said you were the responsible one, I said. Now I see what you meant. You can't weaponize this. I'm not. I'm documenting it. Her tone shifted. What are you planning? Nothing, I said. Yet. I didn't steal anything. You liquidated. Quietly. Without disclosure. While managing his care. I handled everything while you were gone. You monetized his trust. I did what was necessary. No, I said. You did what was convenient. The line stayed silent. Then she said, you're twisting this. I walked back to the apricot painting. Funny. That's what you said at lunch. He would have wanted me to handle it. Then why hide the receipt? Her breath hitched. I hung up, and for the first time, the apricots didn't look like fruit at all. They looked like bruises. Fresh ones. Hidden under varnish. Maya slid a folder across my desk. You're officially irresistible. I opened it. Charts, testimonials, performance metrics, tight and clean. This will get passed around. Already has. Raj from HR flagged your name as high growth. Leadership. Subtle. She smirked. Like a chainsaw in a velvet bag. When's dinner? Tonight. Lucas agreed. Good. Maya leaned in. Don't let him play victim. I won't. Remind him you're not here to sympathize. You're here to win. Lucas chose a restaurant with dark booths and quiet music. He arrived 5 minutes late, jacket off, tie loose. Sorry, he said, sliding in across from me. Back-to-backs. I figured. He signaled for a bourbon. I ordered tea, he said. That's new. I'm not drinking tonight. Smart. We looked at our menus. Neither of us spoke. Finally, he said, I needed this. A break. I thought you needed clarity. He looked up. That too. I folded the menu. So? The promotion. He sighed. Alina still thinks I should decline. And do you? I don't know. You said you did. I said. I was thinking about it. There's a difference? Is this an interrogation? It's a strategy dinner. He stared at me. Right. The waiter came. Lucas ordered lamb. I asked for salad. When he left, Lucas leaned forward. I feel stuck. You're not, I said. You're stalling. I don't want to blow up my marriage. You already did. You just haven't noticed. That's harsh. It's accurate. He shook his head. You don't know what it's like. You're right. I don't know what it's like to be rewarded for indecision. He laughed once, bitter. She wants me home. Visible. Safe. Stable. She wants a prop. She says it's about the kids. They're in prep school, Lucas. They'll survive Zurich. He was quiet. I softened. Why did you ask me here, really? He looked at me, tired. Because you don't bullshit. And I needed to hear it straight. I nodded. Then here it is, you gave them an opening. I took it. His face shifted. You, what? I accepted the role. He didn't speak. You didn't say yes. I did. He blinked. When? Last week. He exhaled. Wow. I thought. You'd want to know from me. Why tell me now? Because I still respect you. But I'm not waiting for you to step aside. His fingers curled on the table. Was this Alina's idea? No. This was mine. She'll lose it. She already has. She just hasn't said it out loud yet. He looked down. She said if I moved, she wouldn't come. And you believe that was a threat? He nodded once. It wasn't, I said. It was a gift. Silence. Finally, he said, you're colder than I thought. No, I said. I'm clear. And then I picked up my tea and didn't say another word. The ballroom shimmered with champagne glass reflections and synthetic applause. The kind you clap with polite hands, not conviction. I waited behind the side curtain, calm. The CEO's voice echoed through the mic, and now, our new head of global strategy, someone whose results speak louder than any title, please welcome. He paused just long enough, Miss Caldwell. I stepped out. Smooth stride. Neutral smile. Direct line to the podium. The room clapped. Some genuinely. Some cautiously. I looked past them, past the lights, and found Lucas. His face was still. I took the mic. Thank you. I'm honored to continue the work we've built across borders and markets. Strategy isn't a position. It's a lens. And mine has always been wide open. The CEO nodded beside me. Well said. We shook hands for the camera. Flash. 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 I posed with board members, with directors. Lucas lingered near the back, his bourbon untouched. After the final click, I approached him. You look composed, I said. That he gave a thin smile. So? Do you? Surprised? He shrugged. Maybe I shouldn't be. Probably not. He looked around us. They're treating you like a rock star. Funny. I didn't sing. He leaned closer. Alina's going to lose her mind. She already texted. What did she say? I pulled out my phone, showed him the screen. Did you know about this? His eyes flicked to mine. Did you answer? One word. He didn't ask which. Did I in the lounge upstairs? The noise thinned. I stood by the window, watching city lights flicker like false stars. The CEO came over. You handled that beautifully. Thank you. We're glad you said yes. So am I. He raised his glass. To a new direction. To one that was always there, I said. He laughed, then moved off. I looked down at my phone again. 3 dots from Alina, they vanished, then reappeared, then nothing. Good, let her sit in it. Alina posted the photo 2 hours after the announcement, me, on stage, shaking the CEO's hand. So proud of my sister's incredible accomplishment. A true visionary leader. Hashtag family first, hashtag women in power. The likes came fast. So did the comments. Elegant. Supportive. Hollow. Then the silence started. No gala selfies, no curated brunches with Lucas. Their Christmas card never came. By mid-January, her name began to vanish from group threads. By February, she texted, coffee? Just us? Please. I chose the time and place. She arrived in navy cashmere and pearls, sunglasses still on as she slid into the booth. You look good. I always did. She smiled, tight. I deserve that. The waitress brought black coffee for me. Alina asked for oat milk and something herbal. I've missed this, she said. Just talking. We don't talk. We used to. Not really. I listened. You performed. Alina's hand curled around her cup. Can I try again? I looked at her. She continued, the will. It wasn't meant to be divisive. But it was. I didn't know how to fix it. You didn't try. I reached out. You reached for control. She went quiet. After a beat, she said, Lucas is in Milan. Restructuring EU accounts. Again? She nodded. He's been distant. Since before I took the role. Maybe. She adjusted her sleeve. People talk. They always do. They think you pushed him out. I did. Alina's eyes met mine. You left a space. I filled it. She stared at her tea. He respects you. He fears irrelevance. She hesitated. Is that what you think of me? No. I think you curate relevance. Her voice wavered. I didn't mean to shut you out. You meant to shine alone. Dad died confused and full of morphine while you liquidated his collection. The color drained from her face. You found the receipt. I pulled it from my bag. Folded, smooth. I slid it across the table. She didn't touch it. You kept it. I keep everything. Her fingers hovered, then dropped. I needed liquidity, she said softly. I couldn't cover everything. You didn't ask. You wouldn't have helped. Maybe not. But I deserved the truth. I was scared. No. You were opportunistic. She winced. I leaned forward. You lied to him. You lied to me. Then you smiled for Instagram. She swallowed hard. I thought I was doing what was right. You were doing what was easy. Silence stretched. A plate clinked in the kitchen. A laugh echoed from another booth. Alina said, What now? Now, I said, we're done pretending. Her breath caught. I stood. She stayed seated, receipt untouched, hands trembling around porcelain. As I walked out, I didn't look back. Not once. I found out from Maya. She listed it through a private broker. Closed fast. Full cash offer. No press? I asked. None. Not even a goodbye brunch. She always loved that porch, I said. She loved being seen on it. I nodded. And Lucas? Maya handed me a coffee. He's in Singapore. With her. Alone. Permanent contract. Relocation covered. Ah. She didn't post about it. She hasn't posted at all. Maya smirked. The silence is getting louder. At the club, people stared longer now. Not at me. At the space Alina used to fill. The air where she should have been. She was always gracious. One woman whispered near the powder room. She was always strategic, the other corrected. And now she's gone. A month ago, they would have said, traveling. Now. It was gone. Maya and I walked past the Caldwell house later that week. A truck idled outside. Movers carried out the last of the furniture. She didn't even keep the grand piano, Maya said. Too many keys to maintain, I said. The front door was open. Inside, the foyer echoed. Maya turned to me. Do you feel anything? Relieved, I said. It's not mine to look at anymore. That weekend, Maya came by with wine. You sure you don't want to celebrate? She asked. This is the celebration. She poured 2 glasses. You built something. I repaired something. What? Equilibrium. She raised her glass to balance. We clinked. The wine was sharp and perfect, just like the silence that followed. The first box I opened held coffee mugs. No china. No crests. Just matte ceramic in black and bone. Clean. Functional. I plugged in the espresso machine. The hum was low, steady. I liked that sound. No music. No memories. Just water and grind. And heat. The walls were bare. The shelves held books, spines cracked, corners soft. Not a single portrait. I threw away the last of the wrapping paper and sat on the floor. The air didn't smell like varnish or lavender or expectation. It just smelled like air. Maya knocked once and pushed the door open with her hip. Don't worry, I brought wine and no opinions. She held up a bouquet. Also, these unsentimental ones. I took them. Thanks. She scanned the apartment. You finally did it. I did. No ghosts. No invitations either. She walked in. I like it. It's intentional. Everything is. We sat at the counter. I poured the wine. To clarity, she said, to boundaries. I answered. We clinked. Maya took a sip, then leaned back. You gonna hang anything? Maybe. Not the family photo. I laughed. Not even close. Not the guys in. Sold. She nodded. Clean slate. I poured more wine. You know what I missed? What? Sitting like this. With someone who doesn't want anything. Maya grinned. I want snacks. Those I can do. She watched me move around the kitchen. You're lighter. I'm alone. Not the same thing. I looked at her. It is when you choose it. She held up her glass. Then let's toast again. To what? Your rules. We drank. The night stretched slow and quiet. No calls. No legacy. Just space, and for once, I didn't fill it. She stopped calling in March. No missed calls. No follow-up texts. No dramatic exit. Just silence. The kind that doesn't announce itself. It settles like dust. I hadn't blocked her. Didn't need to. The air between us was already thick. With decisions, her name appeared in my inbox one Tuesday morning. Subject: just checking in message. I hope you're well. No punctuation. No signature. No wait. I stared at it for a moment, then clicked archive, not out of anger. Not triumph, just closure. Maya saw me scrolling later that afternoon. Did she write? Yes. And? I didn't answer. She nodded. She's trying to leave the door ajar. She doesn't realize it's locked from my side. Maya poured coffee. That's not cruelty. I know. It's maintenance. There was a time I would have replied. Would have reached for civility. Politeness. Peacekeeping, but peace isn't always about keeping, sometimes it's about choosing not to reopen the wound. Alina stayed quiet after that, and for the first time in years, I let her. Mondays used to feel like armor. Now, they felt like ownership. I walked into the executive suite at 8:02 a.m. No rush. No need to prove arrival. The corner office was quiet. The skyline looked honest from here, no illusions, just altitude. Maya knocked once and stepped in. You're trending. Am I? Singapore signed. I nodded. Finally. They credited you for the restructure. Financial Times picked it up. Let them. She grinned. Want to frame it? No. I'd rather keep building. Maya dropped a file on the desk. They're calling you surgical. I opened the folder. Good. In meetings, people listen differently now. They didn't interrupt. They didn't linger on my tone. They didn't mistake silence for uncertainty. After the Tokyo forecast, Raj leaned over. You ever miss being behind the curtain? No, I said, you're good at the quiet power. Louder people miss more. He chuckled. Remind me never to underestimate you. You won't need reminding. At the board dinner, the CFO raised his glass. To stability without stagnation. I didn't toast back. I nodded once. Controlled. Enough. One of the newer VPs leaned toward me afterward. You always that calm? I've practiced. Looks natural. That's the point. Thursday evening, Maya joined me at the apartment. No reason. Just a bottle of wine and the kind of silence that didn't press. You're different, she said, cleaner. Focused. I poured. Free. She studied. Me. You don't even look for her name anymore. I stopped needing her to see me. Maya nodded. You were never after revenge. No, you were after clarity. And now I have it. I stayed late at the office on Friday. Not out of habit. Out of choice. My name was on the door. But that wasn't the win was what I didn't take with me. No legacy. No apology. No wait, just a pen, a plan, and the space to decide what mattered next. That was enough. That was everything.